To the video.
Sorry.
Hi, welcome back to It's Happening Now. It's Friday Fun Day, everybody. Which
Yay!
means we're
Fun day.
Which
Sorry
means
about
we're
that.
going-
I had camera issues and I don't know why.
Greg had some technical
and now we're having
difficulties.
intro issues. We're going to put aside politics as much as we can and get into some conspiracies.
Yay!
Was that funny? I know.
Sorry.
I'm Devin, your host for this evening, along with my co-host Greg, who's not here.
He disappeared.
Scott
How you doing?
and Chris.
What's going on, everybody?
Just a few quick announcements. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course, share.
I'm slacking on that. Sorry. There
It
you go.
would
Right
help-
there.
It would help us out greatly. Today's topic is the frigid and inhospitable, or so it's said, continent of Antarctica,
What do you guys want to know?
where by some accounts may house an alien base. But
Dun,
nonetheless,
Dun, dun, dun.
we already had an issue today of somebody taking a conspiracy way too seriously. So please, whatever you do, don't do this.
Oh.
Yes.
Viewer
don't-
discretion
don't do that.
advised.
Don't be
Sorry.
this
Viewer.
Don't be
discretion
that guy.
advised. Don't be that
Don't
guy.
do that. So, Greg,
Please.
if you'll go ahead and get us into this.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
Well,
What do
I
you want to know?
hear that it's an alien base. I do distinctly
We wanna
remember hearing
know
about.
We want all of your knowledge and info in 30 minutes. Go.
30 minutes.
do-
Okay. Antarctica. All right. Do I believe it's an alien base? Alien base or ancient earthly civilization could be either. All I know, and I'm trying to get some pictures up here for you, is the world's largest naval armada after World War II because they heard Hitler built a base down there. So the world's largest collection of English, American, a few other countries sailed all their boats down there.
No.
All right.
Never to return.
No, they came back.
They did come back.
Just
Well, a
beaten
couple
up.
came back. Not all of them.
Yeah,
Not
beaten
all of
up.
them came back.
And it said they lost the war against aliens. There's so many stories. All right. Now these can all be collaborated to an extent. One of those stories is there was as you know, there's a Canadian base down there, an American. There's I believe 7 countries who operate a scientific base in Antarctica. Well, the Americans, they fly out of South America to Antarctica with supplies, in the C-130s. Fly down there, they bring scientists back. They continually do this through the
Take provisions and stuff. for
provisions,
them, right.
scientists, troops, whoever needs to go down there. Well, one day they were down there and they get an emergency evac call from the British base over on the other side. They got a boiler exploded and he had 3rd-degree burns. Well, they go in there. They're like, this is the flight
Poor
track.
guy. That's terrible.
Flight path you're going to take, and you're going to go around the island, you know what I mean, or the continent until you get over there. And that would have been a 6
Hours,
8-hour flight. Yeah. But if they just went over the South Pole and jumped
Get there
across,
a lot quicker.
get there in just a few hours. So they were told they're not allowed to do that. There's an air sampling station right
No.
over the South Pole.
No
and
fly zone.
no fly there. So they're like, they get in the plane. They're like, look, this
Nada.
dude's going to die before we ever reach him. Let's just go over the South Pole. And they're like, he goes, I vote we do. He goes, we're going to be traveling at 60,000 feet. That's way higher than an air sampling station. He's like,
Right.
what possibly could go wrong? So they deviated from their flight path, flew over the South Pole. They said when they got there, they saw 2 silver discs flying along the edge of the Antarctica, ice shelves. And as soon as they reached over the South Pole, they saw a huge hole that these UFOs went into, UAPs now, and they could see a city in this hole in the bottom of Antarctica. And well, when they got back, they rescued the guy. They flew him back to Chile or one of those countries. And they said these men in suits come walking in the room. And they're like, look, you can never to speak about what you saw. You can't speak to anyone. Well, eventually he spoke. This story was broke by Linda Howe, who is an investigative reporter. I mean, she's won prizes. And there's videos out there. Don't know the copyright of it. You know what I mean? So I don't think I should show it. But these same pilots also have taken a NOAA group of scientists to the South Pole, and they brought them down there. They were to fly them out, land on a glacier, and let them go and retrieve them in 3 days. So they're telling them, that taking all their equipment out. So they fly them out here in, Nowheresville, Antarctica, drop their gear off, drop everything off, give them satellite phones, and say, look, if you need rescued or when you're ready to pick us up, just call us. And we'll be there to pick you up. So they drop them off, they leave. 3 days goes by, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. Time just keeps going by. And they're worried. They're like, we need to go to the rescue party. Like, no. And then one day the phone just rings and they're ready to be picked up. They fly out, pick these people up. He said they all looked like they've seen ghosts. That they were just petrified. And so they were talking to him as they were flying them back to South America, and none of them would talk. They were just staring out to space. And finally one talks and goes, they're here. They're actually here. And then just didn't talk anymore. So the conspiracy or the story is they went and were scientists that interacted with the aliens in the South Pole. I don't believe Antarctica is what they say it is.
I think they were experimented on.
Well, they might have been.
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of weirdness about Antarctica. I mean, we're shown on the globe and whatever that it's nothing but an ice shelf, and we're told that it is, and that there's scientists down there taking cores of that ice to, figure out how old the Earth is, how old man is, blah blah blah, all kinds of stuff. But yet, if you go back, I can't even say, probably before my time, and look at globes, well, there's no ice on the Antarctica. I mean, when they drew out the maps, there was no ice there. So
there's that, but there's lakes there now. Right. I seen something not too long ago where there's lakes there. They're it's not as cold as they say it is. It was actually pretty warm, and there was somebody the video I was watching on it said that it could be like hot springs from like an active volcano or something like that.
There's a pyramid there.
Is there a pyramid there?
There's
a lot.
I have all that for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff
and more
goes along with that.
Has anybody ever heard of the Pyrie map?
No.
Pyrie. People call it different things. You've never heard of that?
I've never heard of it.
This map
I've heard of it, but I don't know a lot about it.
This map is from the 1500s. All right. All right. So, I don't know if you can see this bottom.
Can you make it bigger?
I don't think I can.
You can at least zoom in the screen here.
So you can zoom into the screen.
Yeah.
Trying to here.
Go ahead. Just
anyway, continue. Okay. You see this bottom right here. You see my mouth? I guess you can't see my mouth pointer either. Okay.
No, I can't see that.
It's just the way this is designed.
The bottom right,
The bottom right. Yeah, where it's dark, and then you see the animals, mountains, people, just different type of there's people living over here. That's Antarctica.
Oh.
That map was drawn in the 1500s. It has no ice. boats,
right.
South America above it,
Mm-hmm.
or Africa above it. I'm sorry, Africa above it.
Right.
Yeah. So, what in the world is that? Where did that come from?
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of people would be like, well, sure, in time of the dinosaurs, the Earth was warmer, there was no ice over, then the Ice Age, blah, blah, blah. But this is in a way, way shorter time span. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? They tell us it's nothing but ice as far as you can see and as deep as you can imagine. But I don't know. They won't let anybody there. So who knows, except the government or maybe a few scientists or whatever that have been there.
Okay.
And I do believe that geographically, it's such a big continent for it to be so cold.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've said something about this before, Greg, is that it doesn't make entire sense.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if I go down to the very bottom of Chile or is it frozen? It's not that far off. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
If you go to the North
I think
Pole,
Chile's very warm generally, isn't it?
yeah, and Peru,
right?
You know what I mean? If you are down there in the lower parts of that, is it a little tundra? Yeah, it's like Alaska. Right. Alaska, there's parts that's really close to the center. You know what I mean? But then as you go south, it becomes temperate.
Right.
Antarctica should do the same thing. We're at
you would think
30 degrees. So at every season, it's facing the sun, same as the North Pole. Of course, it gets real cold up there in winter, but in summer, it's tilted towards. It should be warm.
Yeah.
Now, this is brand new. This is from a scientist I follow, and there's a little island right off the coast of Antarctica, and there has been some strange phenomenon that has been coming off of this. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this strange phenomenon that no one really knows what it is.
Okay, wow, you are not going to believe what I found in the exact same spot that we originally found the Antarctica anomaly. Check it out. All right, my friends, so as many of you know, I was the one that broke this Antarctica anomaly situation last week. Of course, many big channels ran with it, and a lot of people assumed they dropped it. In fact, my version of this video has garnered over 30 million.
What the? It's like the cold air just
honestly should get more because I
disappears or something when it gets close to the Antarctica. It's like it just goes away. There's no more.
I mean, did you see that the very first black? Yeah. Now, see that frequency pulse?
Right.
That's a frequency pulse. Watch it. You're gonna see just this boom.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Now there's the other anomaly. That said, it had 80-foot waves, 100-foot waves, and it comes off a little island.
People can't deny that there's something going on in this area of the world, and it's affecting all sorts of things. I can't say for sure that it's directly related to Dubai.
So it's like some sort of force is pushing. It's pushing all that away. Like, go on.
Some huge energy.
Right. It's some sort of huge energy, like pushing it.
Right here is the island. Or over here somewhere. It's real small.
Right.
That little black spot right there.
That little white spot or something right down there by the 30.
And this,
the
you see that arc anomaly.
Is this stuff man-made, or are we dealing with a
technology what it's just swallowing up
near here? You be the judge. I appreciate
the air.
It's throwing huge amounts of energy into the atmosphere.
Right. Yeah. That's what it looks like.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
there's good.
Sorry, take the jet stream and kind of. I mean, it literally looks like it's like pushing it away. That takes an enormous amount of energy.
Yes, it does. I mean, it's throwing huge.
I mean, more than we're capable of.
Are we?
Right.
Well, so they tell us. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things out there. I don't know if we have or don't have. I believe we have anti-gravity technology, but I have no proof.
They never tell us anyway.
They never would. There's a lot that gets me with, like, you said that was from the 1500s. You have a lot of maps and stuff like that of even not maps, but like, how did they know that Saturn had rings around it? I mean, way before we came technologically.
Yeah.
That's there's a lot of weird stuff that, like, in the past they knew these things and then we say they didn't have the technology that we have, and we just got technology where we can see this stuff like not, so far back in the past. We just got this technology. It hasn't been that long, Well, and we're just seeing this stuff, but our ancestors have known it was there. Now, how'd they know? You can't just look up in the sky and be like, look at Saturn up there. It's got rings around it. Look how big Jupiter is. And that, if you look at some of these scales, like the models they had, they're correct. Like to our technology, what we can tell, like Jupiter and all that, how big they are with the rings around certain planets, the moons that are around them. They knew all this way back when, like way too far back when.
Right. Well, if they didn't have the technology for it, then somebody told them. The knowledge was passed on by word of mouth or drawings or whatever. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's also, though, the ability to be able to figure it out based upon when you see it, how you see it over long periods of time, taking large amounts of data and then using mathematical equations. I think that it's possible to do that. I'm not entirely convinced that is.
I've never looked up in the sky and seen Saturn and been able to see the ring around it.
You got to get it.
I get what you're saying, Devin. You can extrapolate what happened in the past by what we have now. But he's talking about, there's ancient scrolls from Aristotle that say, hey, there are rings on Saturn.
Right, but they were ancient. But they were ancient telescopes.
Yeah, but not to the degree that we have now, or so they tell us. We don't know. Maybe they did.
The telescopes we have now, we can see almost across the universe. You know what I mean?
Right.
But totally different. But I mean, it's probably possible to see Saturn.
Well,
you think so?
But they tell us they could barely see the moon back then. You know what I mean? So could they see Saturn?
You can see the moon right there.
Well, I'm saying with a telescope. I get what you're saying. I'm saying with a telescope that they could barely see any significant amount of the moon way back in Aristotle's time.
You may not have to see a lot of detail to know that there's rings around Saturn.
But what I mean,
Saturn's a long way away, bro.
But big enough to see that ring around it.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm trying to get at is like their models that they have built of just our galaxy are pretty straight, like very correct, like too correct. You know what I mean? Like too perfect. I just don't see how they did
like that supposed mountain might be too perfect.
Right.
It's exactly 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers.
Now that looks real. I'll agree with you there.
That's not a mountain. That was made somehow.
Well,
it looks a way too perfect to
a little
be
too perfect. Yeah.
I think
you get what I'm saying, Devin. I just
think that was like, that's not real, and I was like, my eyes say it is.
Yeah. What do your eyes say?
Yeah.
I've looked at a lot of ancient stuff, and that's what I'm saying. When I get to those things, I can understand why they can, like, our planet, they can get the maps and everything. But when it's the galaxy that we live in, and the model they have is just like so perfect, it's like, how did you know? How did you really know? Huh?
What model are you talking about?
I couldn't really tell you exactly which one it was, but I know I've seen them.
Of our galaxy.
I've seen a lot of different ancient,
long time ago.
Right. I've seen several different ancient models of our galaxy, that are so perfect.
Yeah, they're almost exact.
I would say they are exact.
Right. They might be.
They've been mapping out the stars and the planets since like 5000 BC.
You're right. I get that, but
they've been paying attention to where the stars and the planets are in the sky for a long time. It was only until, was it Aristotle who said that that the planets don't revolve around us, we revolve around the sun?
It might have been.
He was there.
I don't know.
I thought,
I'm not entirely positive who it was.
I thought he debunked that theory that everybody was saying that the sun and everything revolves around us, and he's like, no.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I believe it was Aristotle that said that, but I don't entirely know.
It might be. I'm not sure.
As the person here, but I mean, he was revolutionary in that time. I mean,
basically, he was ahead of his time. Right.
I forget my entire point here. because I was focused on that. But
I have a strange interest in a lot of weird things. I collect certain things. One of the things I seem to like is old maps. Now, a lot of them are, let's be honest, BS. Somebody just drew something because it looked cool, whatever. But when you find some authentic ones, you're like, that's not the Earth I know. Like those continents don't look the same. Time maybe changed some of them, but I think some of it is some entity or some group or whatever. I won't say who, I won't point fingers. Tells us, oh, it's like this, or it was like this all along, but it wasn't. Things have changed and they're not telling us.
So that's what's confusing to me about Antarctica and the North Pole.
Right.
Why is one way colder than the other?
Right. I'm trying to find something here.
Thinking about it on a sphere.
I am too.
A sphere that rolls around the sun.
Right.
Why would one be colder than the other when at either point? I mean, because it's obviously it's on a
it's on a tilt.
Right. At one point, it's going to get the same amount of sun that the other side does.
And if it's spinning, then
it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter. It's still spinning on that axis. So why would it be colder when it gets that same sunlight eventually at every time, no matter what?
Here's what we know, though. At the equator, because that's at all points, whether it turns or tilts or whatever, that's the closest spot of our Earth to the sun. So it's the warmest. Now, when you get to the ends, it's a little colder, but is it like, minus 50 degrees or whatever? Not always. I mean, maybe during the winter, okay, but at certain times it should be warmer than that. Now, I don't think it's going to be like 80 degrees balmy or swimming in the pool, but it should be a lot warmer than that. Maybe it gets up to 50 degrees. Maybe it gets up to 40 degrees. Who knows? But that's enough to melt ice. So,
right. So you're looking at average winter monthly temperature in Antarctica as at the South Pole is negative 76 degrees Fahrenheit.
Holy crap, that's cold.
And then and Antarctica, it's negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a 36 degree jump, which is strange. Right. I think it's strange.
It is. That's a big jump, but
there's a 32 degrees like in the summer in Antarctica and negative 18 in Antarctica during the summer. But again, you're still talking about two different sides of the Earth that still get the same amount of sun, more than likely, because I don't see any other reason as to why they wouldn't in the middle of vastness of space. So why is there a difference?
Well, okay, let's say, I don't know how to show this. Let's say your sun is constant here, okay? Your Earth is over here, but it's tilted a certain way.
Even while you're talking, I'm going to bring this up real quick.
Well, even though it spins, you're going to have like the lower part is always going to be a little bit farther away. No, you know what I mean?
No, because when it rotates
from Pluto. Plato. That is, look, you see Saturn right there with the ring, and I can't zoom in on it.
Here, wait,
but that's what I'm saying. How did they?
Here. Let's do this. All right, right. I've seen that before.
I'll tell you what, they must have been smarter than the people we have today.
And that's from Plato. That's.
I don't know that they were smarter. Maybe somebody told them, because I don't know that we had that technology. But if we had somebody that knew come in and say, "Hey, it's like this and this, and you do this and this," well, now you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. That's always been a question that I've always asked. Like when I see things like that, it's like how did they really like see all that stuff and really get it to scale in their models? Like this one's bigger than that one. This one has rings around it. This one has so many moons around it.
Right.
It's just that's the conclusion I always come to, Scott, is somebody told them.
That's very possible, because I don't think we had the technology to see it ourselves.
Not to that scale, like not to get that scale like that. You know, that's the part I always come to, is like they even have the moons, right?
Right.
And
you know how small those moons are, like around Saturn and stuff. I mean,
well, in Jupiter, it's really far away.
It's possible, man. I still think it is.
I thought
Maybe. I mean, look, I think humans put in the right position are capable of great things. They really are.
Oh, I do too.
That one expedition was called High Jump. It was.
I have it right here if you want it.
Yeah, you can put it up.
But
if you want.
we do have our limits, so nonetheless,
So,
even though we've done extraordinary things throughout history, we are limited.
Here you go, Greg.
We have our limits.
There you go.
Operation High Jump. Now they say it was just to explore Antarctica, but why would you go to explore Antarctica right after World War II?
Right.
Plus Hitler
it's the largest Navy fleet ever.
Well, there was many expeditions before that too. There's stories of just a guy with a boat and a crew went, I'm going to go, explore this and trudge through the ice and all that and get up there. And there's whispers of things they've seen, but basically they came back with very few crew left because most of them died, unfortunately.
I mean,
and the ones that were still alive, they wouldn't speak hardly. They're just like, it's incredible. We can't even.
They say
that
there are warm caves with vegetation and all kinds of things under the ice in Antarctica. I had a video, I don't know where it went, of a 1940s plane right over Antarctica, and they find a lake with almost 40-degree temperature.
It's like 40 degrees in a lake. Yeah, so I saw that.
They say Hitler was building a base down there. A lot of his technology came from aliens who have a permanent base in Antarctica.
Right.
So they
there's rumors about that too, that he went on many expeditions up there and was building stuff and
now you have every major power of the world down there. Just certain people come here, certain people can't. That's kind of strange.
Yeah, we're gonna do some studies, but nobody's allowed down here but the special people, scientists. That's it. Nobody else.
Everybody in America can go wherever they want in America, but for some reason,
up there,
don't do it.
Don't do it. Stay out. No, not allowed.
Look what I found.
If you do, you go to CIA Black site.
Right.
We've not been told the truth of.
No, we haven't.
Anything.
The smooth shelf roughens.
Oh, there it is. You found it.
Here above the ice.
Oh, did he? I was looking for it. Sorry.
Ranges as far as the eye can see.
It's 1960s.
Bunger leans forward in amazement. His eyes have caught a sudden and unbelievable change in scenery. The universal white has turned to chocolate brown, dotted with blue. A cameraman goes into action. 300 square miles of land without snow. Land that might be in New Mexico or Arizona. Pictures alone will prove Bunger has discovered a warm oasis in the shadow of the pole. It is for such supreme moments as this that men brave the hardships of exploration. The astounding, undreamed of fact is that they are over a chain of warm water lakes, whose shores, except for small patches, are free of ice and snow. Commander Bunger circles the largest lake in sight, 5 miles long. He comes in to make a landing. Water temperatures must be recorded. Samples taken. He finds the water fresh. Temperature 38 degrees Fahrenheit. On the shores are vast deposits of coal and of minerals of the utmost importance to civilization. Aside from their headline discovery, Bunger and his men have another good.
Did you ever learn any of that?
I've seen that video.
Yeah, I think
they don't teach you that. No,
they don't teach you that in school.
No, they don't want you to know.
No,
like you said, like with Hitler and everybody exploring that area, and they say a lot of his technology came from that area. So that's how he got a lot of his military might.
Admiral Richard Byrd, 1954.
There's rumors that he actually built a working UFO. That he got the technology from Antarctica. That's a rumor. That's a theory.
Yeah, the Nazi Bell.
The Nazi Bell. Right. Exactly. Yep. It's neat to think about, but I would love to see more evidence, more proof. But I
would too. But unfortunately, Scott, you're not allowed to go there.
You're right. They won't let me go there.
No.
And the really sad thing is that the only way to get proof anymore is to see it with your own eyes.
Right.
That is true because AI technology has got so advanced that they can show you a whole city burning down.
Yeah,
and
even video,
it's
it
just
can
fake.
be fake now, and that unfortunately. But we're real. We promise we're real.
Thanks,
Stay
Unreal
with
Engine
us.
6, for destroying any sense of non-realism. Thanks.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to tell fake from real. You know what I mean? When it, especially videos, unless you're there to see it for yourself, then it's one of those things that my grandpa said it all the time was don't believe anything you hear and only believe about a half of what you see. Nowadays is about believe about 25% of what you see.
Yeah.
If even that, it's one of those things where it's kind of sad that even if you see it, I mean, you see it all the time with the videos. You're like, oh man, did you see what happens? Like, no, it was fake. No, it wasn't. It looked so real, and it's like, no, it was actually fake. You can go there and see that building's still there.
Well, guys, unfortunately, we've hit our 30 minutes again. It goes fast on Fun Friday.
Let me give you a quick
Greg's
thing.
always going to take us over. That's Greg's thing.
No, I'm not taking you over. I just want to show you something. It's an old picture. All right.
All right. Give us a picture, and then we got to sign off.
That last picture.
All right.
Last picture.
It's from World War II. That's the Nazi bell.
There it is.
The Die Glock. This is a picture from actual World War II.
It's a fascinating concept. I mean, like I said, I wish we had more proof, but yeah, I've heard all those theories, and I mean,
sounds great.
It's weird.
Maybe it was real, maybe it wasn't.
Maybe it wasn't. You're right. I mean,
anyway, with that fun bit of information, we'll leave it there. Again, have a great weekend, everybody. Please, again, like, subscribe, share, and ring the notification bell so you know when we're going to do more of these shows, like on Monday through Friday, every day at 7.
Stop. Sorry. You done?
No.
And,
we're going to end that. So have a great day.
Stop believing what the media tells you on everything.
Yep.
Everybody have a great weekend. God bless. Good night.
Peace out.
See you Monday.
Yep. Enjoy.
See you guys.
See you.